And we are back with more of the original Cowboy Bebop, the animated series, and I am excited. Seen a few episodes, but I am working to get my thoughts down in a commentary and up on YouTube. So thank you all for being patient. Definitely subscribe. I'll be putting up some more stuff in the future. Hit that like button. But first, to get into this episode, what do we have? We have Faye sitting alone in the spaceship. She's clearly was not planning to be in the spaceship for this long because she has eaten all of her food and is running out of things in a little bit of trouble, which is what Faye tends to do. Being in trouble, that is where she is most days. Jet and Spike, on the other hand, are very much out of their element. They are in a fancy little place, some very nice food that they're trying to figure out what to order. And they're looking for a bounty that happens to also be eating there, surrounded by some lovely ladies. And in the middle of this fancy dinner time and bounty hunt, there is an introduction to the evildoers of the show this episode, and they definitely enter in with an entrance. She is known as Ma, and her cohorts are going around doing some eco-terrorist activities. They want to save a specific animal, and their way of doing so is by causing as much mayhem, destruction, and chaos as they can. And it turns out she's got a 25 million oolong bounty on her head. So Spike and Jet decide to shift their focus from their dead target to this new one. They take advantage of the situation at the restaurant and decide to capture Ma and take her back to the Bebop in hopes of getting the reward that is out for her head. But it turns out when they contact the police that there's some back channels being worked and the bounty is no longer applicable, so they're forced to let her go. And it turns out that there was this whole blackmailing going on, and these eco soldiers who are trying to save the planet and make everything a lovely place are not so nice after all, and they have been making a drug and testing it on animals and even their own people. And there was a threat that the drug was going to be released on the population and cause even more chaos and more death. But wait, we've lost track of something very important in this episode. What happened to Faye? Last we knew, she was in space, losing oxygen, no food, no water. Turns out she found this vial on the space wreck and she decided to open it and take it with her. She later on gets found by Spike and by Jet, taken to the Bebop, where they go through her stuff and find this little tiny vial, but they have no idea what it is. You can see where this is going, right? It is a vial full of their experimental drug that turns people pretty crazy and animalistic, and they almost drop it, it almost gets shot, and things happen. Classic Cowboy Bebop style, there's a space fight. Everything ends up fine, eventually. Except for the fact that the Bebop crew does not get paid for all of this, and so they're all doing it from the goodness of their heart. And that's a wrap for this episode. Again, I'll be working my way through the anime of Cowboy Bebop and the new live action Netflix. I've seen one episode that's on the channel, but feel free to subscribe, leave a comment after the show because I want to hear what you have to think. This is a favorite of mine from back in the day, and I hope other people get introduced to it or are enjoying their own rewatch.